Okay, then hello and welcome to our third podcast. And for that, I will have an introduction. So maybe you know this kind of letter that appeared on March 23. And it begins with AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risk to society and humanity, as shown by extensive research and acknowledged by top AI labs. That is the letter from The Future of Life that also CEOs like Elon Musk or AI computer scientist Joshua Bengio signed for that letter. And this will also be our topic for today, AI regulation. And therefore, maybe David, you can say something about that. Or how is your opinion about AI regulation? How do you envision it?
Yeah, I think that AI should be regulated, at least to provide a well-defined context to build on top of that context innovations and new developments. Because if the context is not very well defined or is unstable, innovation is it's difficult to happen. In this sense, the first requirement will be to protect our rights as citizens and humans. In this process of defining the regulatory framework, I think that one important issue is that framework should have a global scope. The same main principles should be internationally accepted by all the countries. Also, it's important to get focus on the multidisciplinary nature of the team involved in the regulation. I would include them. I would include their technologists, sociologists, also experts in law, but what I want to include are would be politicians. I think that it should be a clean, a clean of interests framework, mainly focus and leave experts to do their job, which is create the regulation.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with you. I think a framework, a regulatory framework for the AI should be there, of course, because I think, in my opinion, regulatory framework, they're providing a room or like a certain amount of vectors. They create a room for innovation, and as long as these vectors are stable and have well thought principles behind it, it's creating room where people would like to move in. And if you're creating the regulatory elements too narrow, too deep, that there's no room for innovation, you have to get the people move into your room rather by the stick than by a carrot. And it should this time be designed in a way that people would love to move into the regulation because they're seeing the benefits of having something. It's really giving some solid borders, and which also creates a room where you can inter-exchange in between AI products or AI elements of it, like where you can really have a data exchange, an algorithm exchange, and how your partners believing the same trustworthiness and the same principles that have been designed by the room. So yes, absolutely, AI regulation is necessary. Please don't narrow it to there. And I would definitely agree with David on these key subject matter experts that should be involved into designing this framework. So, okay, sorry, complex. Is there any David? Is there anything you would really like to emphasize on it? On where you say like, hey, this is one aspect, like interoperability, or like also maybe what could be the driver so that this framework will not stop at geographically or national borders. Like, what do you think? What could be a driver
No,
like for make it?
I think that the driver would be to protect human rights, in AI related topics, but protect our rights and setting pristine clear that our rights as humans should be protected.
Yeah.
For example, thanks to AI, you can have a chip that is able to control your emotions. So that's not fair. That we have to be protected against that, for example. Or you can't recreate a thought using AI. No, it's a matter of being able to reproduce the electric signal and recreate that in your brain. This is possible. In fact, it is used to treat some psychologist disorders, but thinking the bad use of that, so
Yeah.
these are the kind of rights that are key to be
Absolutely.
protected first.
I'm envision like a huge, let's say, data catalog or API catalog where basically you're gonna publish AI based data or products, whatever the products might be in the end. But to publish a product into this marketplace, you have to agree that the terms and conditions, and to
Mhm.
consume such a product, you also have to specify the use case. And the other side
Mhm.
should be have the possibilities to make it time bound or use case bound, or it's like, hey, I'm not doing trustworthiness to this third party anymore. I'm shutting down my supply of the data product to that third party. And I think like creating this kind of marketplace, which has
Mhm.
no national borders to it, and we all to agree to the certain standards. That is my basically my vision. Like really build a huge big marketplace, and the terms and conditions should be this what we should be define the regulatory framework.
Hmm. And so I think that's why we need a framework, a global scope framework because without that framework, it will be impossible to guarantee data security and privacy. Because there's if regulations are more flexible in one countries that are not than in others, will be
Mhm.
lost.
Absolutely, because if you try to regulate each and every endpoint of an API or function, usually the development of a function is way faster than the law aspect to a function. And
Mhm.
therefore it should be like creating a stable room where people have the degree of freedom they need to build new innovative business models and also to explore and explorate new functions. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So that's a really interesting point. And also, as you can see, it's like a global topic that is really interesting right now. But for today, I think that is a quite nice introduction for that. And I think we will see us then next week for the next podcast or for the
Yeah,
next 2 weeks. Let me see. Um, but yeah, thank you very much, David and Tim.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
So, and then see you later.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.